Do your crochet projects ever start like this? You've got chains that are too loose, too tight, and it's just a mess. And once you start working on your first row, it just gets worse and worse. So yeah, we're not doing this anymore. Today, I'm going to show you the Foundation Single Crochet chain, a technique that gives you a perfect first row and chain at the same time. Just look at this edge. It's stretchy, it's even, and it saves you time. Once you learn this, you may never start projects with a regular chain again. And it's especially helpful for those of us who crochet either too tightly or too loose when we do our first chain. Let me know in the comments if you are a tight crocheter or a loose crocheter. If you stick around to the end, I'll show you how to do your first row after doing the Foundation Single Crochet chain. Alright, grab your yarn, grab your hook, let's get started. You'll start with a normal slip knot, so nothing fancy here. Alright, start by chaining 2. We're going to go back into this first chain, but we want to grab 2 strands of yarn when we do so. So here we go. Alright, that's 2 strands of yarn. Yarn over, pull one through. Now we've got 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through the first one. Okay. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through both of them. Now we have not yet started to count our stitches. What we're doing here is the setup for that. So here's our actual first Foundation Single Crochet. This spot here is where we want to insert our hook. And again, we want 2 loops over the top of our hook. Like that. And it's the same as the setup. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through both. At this point, if you want, what we can do is tighten up our slip knot here so that it's nice and snug. So the pattern in terms of how many loops you want on your hook, you're going to want 2 loops, then 2 loops, then 1 loop. So let's keep going. 2 loops over the hook there, yarn over, and draw through. So here's 2 loops on the hook, yarn over through 1, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over through both. Now we're down to 1 on the hook. In, yarn over, pull 1 up, yarn over, pull 1 up, yarn over, pull through both. And then however many chains your project calls for, then that's just how many you do. Now remember, this technique is going to help you get a more even stitch, but you do still need to mind your tension. You don't want to be crocheting too loose or too tight. So why do experienced crocheters love foundation chains? Well, 3 reasons. Your edge is super stretchy, you skip the annoying chain row, and your stitch count is easier to control. Now, what do you do when you finish your first row? Normally, when you finish your initial chain, you will then start crocheting from right to left. However, the Foundation Single Crochet chain counts as your first chain and your first row. Therefore, you actually flip your work. But because your hook's on the right side, you can't flip it that way, because then you'd be crocheting backwards. What you do instead is you flip it top down. And now we have some familiar looking spots that we can crochet into. You can chain 1 at this point if you want to, but I don't. I just go straight into crocheting. So here's what that would look like. And we'll just do single crochet. Easy. And here's our last one. And then this little tail here, once we weave that in, it'll look just fine. So here's a little swatch that I did. Notice how nice and uniform and stable that bottom row is. Now, a word of caution. If you are doing a pattern that includes a lot of different things like stripes, just keep in mind that when you do your Foundation Single Crochet chain, that the chain and the first row are being done at the same time. So you might have to adjust your pattern for that. I'm going to do a small 5-stitch swatch for you real quick so that you can get the hang of how to count these stitches. Chain 2, go in, draw up, yarn over, draw up through both. We're not doing our first full stitch yet. Now we can start counting. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I'm not going to chain 1. I'm going to flip it top down and then start crocheting. All right, we're going to count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our last one. 5. We can tighten up our slip knot here. Now at this point, we're going to chain 1, flip it, and then we can start doing the rest of them. Once we tie this tail in, it's going to disappear and give us a nice clean shape. So if you've never done the Foundation Single Crochet chain before, try it out and then let me know in the comments how it went. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a like. It'll help others be able to find the channel, and then hopefully these tutorials can help them as well. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.